Hello and welcome to the, well, not weekend video. It's a Monday morning. Markets are just about to open. It's 9 a.m. GMT. So I didn't get a chance to do the video of the weekend, so I thought, right, Monday morning is as good as any time. So I'm just gonna jump right in and see what I think might be ahead of us this week. There's every chance that we may have more of the same, but we may get something completely different. So, yeah, let's just get going and stop talking about it. Okay, so euro dollar here is the 4-hour chart. This is the ramp up in the previous wave C that we were tracking as it happened, and now it looks like we have wave 1 down complete, and A, B, C rally in wave 2. That's an expanded flat wave 2, and then the collapse that we've had off that high seems to be the beginning of a larger third wave down. And excuse me, I have a common cold due to lack of sleep. Okay, if I sneeze, you're not going to get it through the through YouTube. Okay, so we've got wave 3 down, I think, underway now. So this is wave 1 of 3. So we should get a bounce in wave 2 this week. We may get a 50% bounce over the next week to 10 days type of thing. We might be talking back up to about a 111 again in an ABC pattern, and then we'll fall into wave 3 of 3. Okay, so euro dollar, here's the hourly chart. This is the 5-wave decline that I've been tracking, and it's possible we're on wave 4 of 5 now. This could be a triangle or running flat. It's hard to know right now. It's a corrective move anyway. I'm calling this little punch to a new low on Friday as a B wave and then a rally in wave C. We're falling again this morning, so it could be the beginning of wave 5 of 1. And then I reckon by midweek anyway, we'll start rallying again in wave 2. Okay, let's get into pound dollar. We're looking for a third wave collapse. Here comes the third wave collapse. Third waves are an amazing thing when they actually start kicking off, as we've seen in the stock market. Again, we had an expanded flat wave 2 pattern, topped out back in, when was that? December, actually. And then we had this long 1-2 pattern, which was running flat. It seemed to have turned out to be anyway. We're looking for a top in around the 132 area, so that would have been a slight breach of the previous peak high there. We didn't get that, but we got a run up close to it, which classified it as a running flat rather than a normal expanded flat. And then we got this plunge down into wave 3, and I'm not 100% sure whether that's completed yet. Let's get into the hourly chart and I'll show you that. Possible wave 4 on Friday's high, and now it looks like we're kind of declining in an impulsive pattern again, which the wave count kind of called for there on Friday. So we should break to a new low below this B wave low here. So that's what's that, 114. So we should break 114 again, possibly down to about 112 to complete wave 5 of 3. And then we'll have a bounce in wave 4 again. So that could bring us back up to about 120. These are kind of large ranges here. That's just the way the action has kind of played out recently. So anyway, fourth wave correction. Looks like we're getting into wave 5. So that should break below 114 again. In order for that to remain valid, we need to see 119.31 hold, and if that 119.31 breaks, that just means that wave 4 is underway earlier than expected. Okay, dollar yen. We were looking for a wave D rally, and we have got a wave D rally, it seems. And now we should start next thing we should be looking for is a turn down in wave E, and that wave E should hold above the previous wave C low, which is 101.20, about that. So it looks like we've got a 3-wave rally in wave D all but complete, and we should fall again in wave E. and that will complete the larger triangle wave B. If we go into the daily chart here, you can see this again, continuing triangle that I've been tracking for a long time. Excuse me, and it seems to be topping out, turning down into a wave E. Okay, so let's get into the hourly chart. Here's the three-wave pattern that I've been tracking. Wave 4 could still be underway. We may still get another pop in wave 5 again, but resistance seems to be holding 112.20 so far. That's the previous wave B. And then we should fall down again. Once this wave D tops out, we should fall again in three waves in wave E. So that's the outlook for this week. Wave D should top, and we should fall back into wave E. Okay, stock market, looking for a third wave decline. Again, a continuation. It looks like we've got that. I think wave 3 is closing out now or soon. I should have turned that into wave 4. Well, I'll get into the... Actually, I should get into the hourly chart because I have that more updated. Yeah, wave 3 seems to be bottoming out right now. So you can see wave 3, and it's an ending diagonal. It seems to be an ending diagonal pattern wave 3, so we should get a bounce in wave 4 sometime this week once we see some sort of consolidation around the bottom. So a small higher low below this kind of extreme low this morning. So the futures are down again this morning. Well, overnight. So we'll see how the open goes. We may punch lower in the open, and then if we get a rebound by the end of the session, that could indicate that wave 4 is underway. But it looks like this week I'll be looking for a fourth wave correction higher. Well, wave 3 to complete first anyway, and a fourth wave correction higher. This ending diagonal, it seems to be maybe a trumpet pattern. It's possible that it's a trumpet pattern, so it's kind of a widening diagonal, expanding diagonal, rather than like this normal kind of, let's say, cone shape or inverted cone shape that you would come to a point. Anyway, we can still identify three-wave moves, all pointing lower. So we have three waves down in wave 1, three waves up in wave 2, three waves down in wave 3, some sort of three-wave pattern in wave 4, and maybe a three-wave like that. Looks pretty impulsive at the moment, actually. But I mean, it could unfold in three waves in wave 5. So let's see how that this ending pattern within wave 3. Let's see how that unfolds over the next day or two, and then I'll be probably looking higher in wave 4 again. And that wave 4 has the potential to push back above 20,000 again, so maybe up towards 22,000. It could be a pretty rip-roaring rally. And given the kind of extreme negative sentiment that's everywhere at the moment, that does align well with a counter trend rally. So I'll keep that in mind for the next few days. And if we do see a three-wave bounce, it will be also worth keeping in mind that it should be a corrective bounce, and we will probably see a decline again to new lows in wave 5. So for the outlook for the week is wave 3 should bottom, and then we should probably rally in wave 4. It may take until Wednesday before wave 4 kicks off. Okay, let's get into gold. Gold has been my disappointment over the last few weeks. I still think we're bottoming in a fourth wave, or alternately, we could be bottoming in a second wave. I think it's a three-wave pattern. If it's a second wave, then we should expect an even larger rally in wave 3. If it's a fourth wave, we should be expecting a rally back above 1900 to complete wave 5. Let's get into the 4-hour chart here. I'm calling this an expanded flat correction. We'll see in the hourly chart whether this wave C is complete yet, but the minimum target for the rally in wave 5 would be probably back above 1700 anyway, but I would expect maybe something more in wave 5. So the hourly chart here, it's tentatively pointing higher, but we'll have to see some follow through over the next day or two. We're pretty flat this morning on the opening in London, so you could call this a consolidation. Let's see if we rally today, especially if we push back above 1554. This could indicate a rally in a third wave. So that's the outlook for the week, is for this correction to bottom and to turn higher again into a possible fifth wave. So fingers crossed on that one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry. Don't mean to leave you hanging like that. Okay, crude oil. We were looking for an extension lower in a third wave. We've got that. Let's get to the daily chart there. This is a wave 1 down, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So again, we should be expecting some sort of fourth wave rally, possibly back into this gap here, which again, the gap is between 36, 46, 41. So it's say between 36 and 41 there, we have a nice gap. And the only kind of, well, yeah, I still think that wave 3 will probably push lower again once this correction is complete. And I do have a target down around the, believe it or not, around the $11 mark. And that is where this will be wave 3 in green, reaches 162% of wave 1 in green there. I mean, this could be an ABC decline as well. Yeah, I wouldn't discard that idea at all. But either way, it looks like we have a kind of an interim correction higher, back up towards the kind of 36 region. Let's say oscillate around the 40 region, and then decline in wave 5 of 3. So wave 5 of 3 should push down below the previous low. So we should push back down into the 20s or below the 20 handle again. So we could be looking at, once wave 4 is finished, we could be looking at a bottom. Wave 4 is finished, we could be looking at a bottom in wave 5 in the teens. So, somewhere around the 15 level. And that will complete 5 waves down in wave 3. Then we could have a bounce in wave 4 again. So we're looking at a pretty volatile few months at least, in kind of bounces around between the 20 and the 40 mark, in a series of third and fourth waves. But we'll track it day by day. We were looking for this massive acceleration lower in third wave. We got it. So that means we're on track. The world was counting on higher oil prices. Again, the wave count comes into play. It looks like today we are creating some sort of a bottom in a B wave, maybe. So this is B wave 4 of 3. So wave 3 was the previous low last week. We had a 5-wave decline in wave 3. It looks like we're creating an ABC pattern in wave 4. It could either be a triangle or flat correction. We will probably push up above 28 again to complete wave 4, and then dive down into wave 5 of 3, and then the rally in wave 4 again, that I was talking about earlier, would push back up, probably up to that 36 level again. So a series of fourth and fifth waves is what I'm looking for over the, I suppose you could call it over the next 2 months or more. But for this week, we'll look for a rally in wave C of 4, and then a decline in wave 5 of 3. Okay, let's get down into the closing section here. So the S&P, I think we are bottoming in the S&P. I'm looking for a second wave rally, just like the Dow, but I think we may be further along in the S&P than the Dow. I didn't update this chart for a few days, so 5 waves down. Probably a series of fourth and fifth waves in here, or again that ending diagonal. or a trumpet pattern in wave 5. Let's see. If we go into, that's wave 5 of 1 rather than wave 5 of 3. We had a fourth wave high back at 2700 late 2 weeks ago, and then it seems 5 waves down again in some sort of ending pattern in wave 1. Again, we're just going to have to see this week if we get, early signs of a bottom, and especially if we get a bounce back above 2500 again. That would indicate wave 2 is probably underway, and wave 2 should. I'm looking at kind of a band of resistance here in a series of fourth waves and the wave 1 low. So we've got a kind of a target zone between 2700 and 2850, or that kind of range there. But that's kind of, I'm talking into the future here now, so it's hard to know. We have to find the initial low for wave 1 to complete first before we rally again in wave 2. There's also, there's a competing theory that we are just seeing a series of 1-2s to the downside, and we will get an acceleration lower. But we should know by the middle of this week anyway. This week should pose or should give us, I think, some action that will point probably, or that will clear up the pattern for the next couple of months. And let me rephrase that. The action we get this week should point to, or should clear the way for the action that happens in the following month or two. So, excuse me. We want wave 1 to complete. We need a 3-wave pattern in wave 2, and I'm looking down a month down the road here. So this week is concentrating on a bottom in wave 1. Okay. We have silver. It looks like we're having some sort of fourth wave correction in silver, and this is the 4-hour chart again. And then, as opposed to gold, there may be one more low in silver before we rally again to begin a C wave. So here's the hourly chart in silver. We're talking off the $18 or $19 high. It's been quite a plunge, and I have to say I did not expect the declines that we have seen in the precious metal markets. I expected the declines in in crude oil. I expected the declines in the stock market. I didn't expect it to the sell-off to include the metals complex. But that's just, hey, you can't be right all the time. Sometimes you can't be right any of the time. Okay, so a series of fourth and fifth waves is what I want to see. I would like to see this bottoming quicker, and maybe that's a possibility. We have 1, 2, 3. We've had this kind of range contraction over the last few sessions in silver. That it's pointing towards a triangle right now at the moment in a fourth wave, and then a punch lower into a fifth wave. So early, or for the first few days this week, we could see a decline into a fifth wave, and if that's to happen, then we could probably see a sub $10 silver. I think that would probably be a good buying opportunity, actually. So that'll be wave 5 of 3. So let's see how that plays out over the next few days. Triangle hopefully closing out. This triangle should, if it is a triangle, it should hold below that wave A high there at, say, 1330, and then decline in wave 5. Okay, so that does it for the week, for the weekend video on Monday. I will see all you guys on the website tonight for the nightly update. And everybody else, have a great week. Be good, stay safe, and God bless. Bye-bye.